Hi, amazing artist! Today we are going to learn about radial symmetry and make a radial word design. Check out some examples. Radial symmetry can be found in a variety of everyday objects. Radial symmetry can be found in art, in animals, in nature, and in food. Pizza.
Hi artists! This week we're going to be learning about radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is something that you can find in nature, you can find in food, you can find in art. So here's our project, and you're going to be picking a word. Can you see which word I used in my design? It may take you a couple seconds or a minute to look at it. But I chose the word create. So let's see here, C-R-E-A-T-E. And the word create goes around my design 8 times. So in radial symmetry, you have a center point. So for my design, it's a sun. And around that sun or around the center point, the word radiates out. And it's symmetrical across many lines of symmetry we can find. So we could fold it in half and we see 2 symmetrical sides. We could fold it in half another way, diagonally. It would be exactly the same. We could fold it in fourths, and we also see it exactly the same. We could fold it into an eighth, and we see exactly the same design. So for this project, you'll need 2 pieces of paper. The best kind of paper to use for this is paper that you would put in your printer. So that's called copy paper, something that is a thinner weight. We want this to be a little bit see-through. If you don't have copy paper, then any kind of paper will work, but the best thing to use is copy paper.
All right, so for your materials, you'll need 2 pieces of paper. And for your paper, it's best if this is thinner so that we can see through it a little bit. You'll see why in a couple minutes. But printer paper would work best. So 2 pieces of printer paper or copy paper. A pencil, a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, an eraser, and you'll need scissors, and then you will need something to add color with.
So the first thing that we're going to do is turn our paper, which is a rectangle, into a square. So you're going to take one of the 4 corners, it doesn't matter which one, and you're going to pull it up and fold it so that you're making a diagonal fold here, but you're also making sure to match up the edge of the paper. So we kind of end up with this, we end up with a triangle shape here. So make a really nice crease. Make sure this edge is matched up as much as you can get it to. And then we're going to cut this part off. Make sure you're really close to the other piece of paper here. Then when we open this up, we have a square. We don't need this small piece anymore. We also already have one of our folds done. So we have a diagonal fold here. We're going to make another diagonal fold here, so we'll have an X. So I'm going to take this corner, fold it up, match up the corner here, pressing down in the middle, and then making the crease out to each side. When I open this up, then I have an X. I need to make 2 more folds here. So I'm going to fold from side to the other side now. So I'm taking one side, folding it in half, matching up the corners, making the crease.
open it up, I need to make one more fold going in this direction. So I'm taking this side that already has the crease going vertically, folding it up and matching up the corners. All right, so when you open it up, you should have 8 sections or 8 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna set this aside for now, but we need another piece of paper. Now we're going to do the same thing to this paper. So our first step was to make it into a square. Take one corner, fold it up, match up the sides of the paper. That one's not exact. Make the crease and then cut off the extra part. Open it up. We have one diagonal fold from corner to the opposite corner. Now we need to make one going in the other direction. So I'm going to take the side that has the crease, fold it up, match up the corner there, and make a crease. Now we need to do 2 more folds. Doesn't matter which side you start on for this, just fold it to the opposite side. And we need one more crease going in this direction. So take the side that has the vertical fold. Okay. So now with this second piece of paper, we really only need it because we need to cut a triangle shape out of it. So you can use any triangle shape, but make sure you're cutting on the crease. So I've cut out a triangle. It doesn't matter which one again. So if I cut out this one, that would work too. Any of the triangles will work because they're all exactly the same. So this one is the same as this one. You only need one. So now we have our piece of paper that's a square that has 8 folded triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna leave it blank for right now. And then you should also have your triangle shape. So if we look at our paper that's a square, the triangle fits exactly in the spot that the folded sections are. We are going to be using the small triangle for a tracer. So you're going to write a word, it can be any word, inside of the triangle shape. So you could use your name, you could use a word that inspires you. Any word will work. I would just say at least 3 letters. You don't want like the word is. That would be kind of boring. And it's only 2 letters. So at least 3 letters. And you're going to write the word using bubble or block letters. So I'm going to do mine now. I'm going to write the word create. So the word create has, let's see how many letters. C-R-E-A-T-E. It has 6 letters. So in the middle, the letters are, we have C-R-E-A. So E and A are in the middle. And when you're drawing or writing your word, you want it to kind of go up into the triangle shape. So to make sure it's centered, I'm going to start with the center of the word. You could do this if this helps you too. So I'm going to put the E and the A of the word create first. So I know that it also has a T another E, then let's finish the beginning of the word. A C and an R. That way I've centered my word. I don't end up with some extra space on the edges. But I need to turn this into a bubble letter. So I've written the word out, but now you can draw bubble letter shape around those letters that you wrote out. So now that I have my word written and my bubble letters, and they've filled in most of the triangle shape, so my letters get taller as they get into the middle of the triangle, then I can outline it with a Sharpie. Don't worry about any extra pencil lines that are here, because this is just our tracer. You'll see how to use it in a minute. So it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. So I'm going to go ahead and outline this with a Sharpie. So now that I've outlined, the next step is really important. You're going to flip over the triangle, and we see the word create reversed. We see this because the Sharpie bled through or went through the paper. So we're going to create a reverse outline. We're just going to go over these lines that we see and make them a little bit darker. So the next thing is creating our radial word design. So you're going to use the triangle that you made that has your word written going in the right direction, and then when you turn it over, it should have the word in reverse. Both are outlined with the black marker. You're going to use this as a tracer. So we're going to put it underneath our square paper in the triangle sections. So when I hold this up here, you should be able to see the letters through the paper. If you can't see the letters, then you may want to put this on a surface with light to trace, like a window. A window has light coming from the outside, and it will show through the paper. So then I'm going to take my triangle and I'm going to put it underneath the square paper. And I want to make sure that my word fits in the triangle section so that it's not off on the side. You want it to have its own section. If you can't get it exact, then one tip I have for you is using a little bit of tape, but just the smallest amount. And you can put this somewhere where it will stick, but not on the word, so that I need to take this off in a little bit, but I can do that without ruining my word. So I flip it over, and it's still in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and trace the bubble letters. So now I have traced my word. I'm going to take this triangle off really carefully because I put a piece of tape on it. And then my next step is to trace it in a mirror or in a reflection. So I want the same letter to always be towards the center of the paper. So the C will be in the center here. If I traced it like this, well then the C would not be in the center. So I need to make sure when I'm doing this that it's going in the right direction. The C for the word create will always be in the center or near the center. The E will always be toward the edges. So make sure that you're doing that when you are tracing yours. So I'm going to put this underneath my paper. And if I need to do a little piece of tape, I will do that. C is always towards the middle, E is always towards the edges. Then I'm going to go ahead and trace these letters. Alright, so now that I'm done, you can see that I have a mirror reflection in this square of the word create. If I used a line of symmetry, something down the middle, I have two symmetrical sides. We're going to do this all the way around, so I'm going to do this 6 more times. You are going to trace the word a total of 8 times. So now when I move on to doing the next section, I need to remember that the C is always in the middle, so my triangle is not going in that direction. That would be wrong. So I want to put this underneath the paper, going in the right direction. So now that my word is traced in every triangle section, I can go ahead and outline with a Sharpie. If you have a lot of space in your center, then you can add a design. I think I'm going to add a circle and then maybe just like a line that comes out towards the C, but I'm doing this in every triangle shape because remember, we're using radial symmetry. So each part needs to be the same. So it's kind of like I have a sun in the middle. You could also do that in spaces where you have extra space. I think I'll kind of repeat that sun shape. I'm going to go over with an eraser, and erase any of the pencil lines that are showing through just to make it look a little bit neater. So now it's time to color. When you're coloring a radial design, you need to keep the colors the same. So I'm going to color all the C's one color, all the R's will be another color, all the E's will be another color. I'm not going to color it random colors, which could be pretty, but that would not be using symmetry. letters are colored in, and I've used symmetry when coloring in so that the same letter is the same color. So all the C's are orange, all the R's are pink, all the E's are purple, all of the A's are dark blue, the T's are turquoise, and the E's are green. Then I'm going to color the background. But when I'm coloring the background, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. I'm going to use the same color in each section in the same area. So I'm going to start with yellow, but you can do any color that you like. And I colored in the beginning of that section yellow, so I need to do the same with the other sections. So I'm continuing to use radial symmetry when I do this. All right, so now I've finished coloring in my radial word design. When we look at the finished design, you can see many lines of symmetry. So let's try folding it up. So I can fold it back into that original triangle shape. So we see create and then the upside down version of create. If we open it up and see half, we see create and the mirror reflection, or the upside down version. And it continues all the way around the design. And the colors also continue all the way around the design. So the background color matches up in each triangle shape.
All right, artists, that's the end of our lesson for today. I can't wait to see your super radical radial symmetry word designs. Stay creative.